Welcome to Fresh Fishing. My name's Martin, or OMR, and today I'm going to take you back to the beginning of April where I had a session in France at a lake called Lac La Chausse. It's a lake I visited last year in August, and I did reasonably well on that session, but this one really set the scene. It was a cracking session. We've had mega chaos. It's 43 pounds, 45.10 common. Don't forget, please, if you like the video, hit the like button, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, because we're getting very close to 10k, and that'll be a milestone, and there might be a bit of something in it for everybody when we get to 10k. Okay, we travelled from Portsmouth to Cairn, and that's the first time I've used that ferry crossing, and we took the 11:30 at night boat, and that got us with a cabin, and that got us in for 8:30 in the morning, and it was only an hour and 40 minutes to the venue. So we were at the venue after we'd been to the supermarket, sort of just before 10 o'clock, and the owner very, very kindly said that we could, because there was nobody else on the lake, that we could crack on from 10 o'clock onwards. And so we started setting up and got into it. Weather-wise, it was 22 degrees on the first day, and to be honest, the whole week was hot days, cold nights, but really good weather. So it was fantastic from that point of view. The weather really made it for us. Yeah, once we got there, the owner asked us to draw lots for choice of swims, and I luckily picked out first choice, and John, my nephew, picked second choice, and there was a chap that was joining us later on in the day at about 5 o'clock, and he got third choice in that particular case. And I chose swim 2. I was on swim 1 last time I was there, and I chose swim 2 this time. And it was a pretty quiet day to start with, and then got the rod set up by, I think it was about 1 o'clock. Bivvy was set up, everything was sorted, bait and everything else, and I had my rods in for about 1 o'clock, and then I decided to watch the Leeds game that was on in the afternoon, and it was just a quiet first day settling in. And then luckily I got into my first fish at 8 o'clock, 8:40 I think it was, something like that, in the evening. Yep. Well, there we go, first fish. It's about 8:45. I had the take at about 20 to 9. It's about 10 to 9 now, something like that. My centre rod right at the back of the bay on a large wafter, round wafter basically, on a Ronnie rig, and it's 23.3. So yeah, nice dark mirror, 23.3, 23.3, just the job. So yeah, I broke my sort of first day duck for France. I don't normally catch until dark o'clock in the evening if I catch on the first day, but this time, as I say, I caught at 8:40 in the evening, and that was from my middle rod, which I had out 165 yards away, right at the back of the bay, and it was a mirror, so a cracking start, to be fair. And that was the spot that produced some really good fish, some bigger fish, during the remainder of the week. Without a bait boat, that was, I think, it was 44 wraps it was going to be. I mean, I'm pushed to cast 18 or 19 wraps, so 44 wraps would have been no chance. So my little actor bait boat was struggling with the current sometimes to get down to that point, but we managed it, and it was a good job we did, to be honest, because, as I say, some really good fish came from that particular spot. Yeah, I had a quiet night actually, but my nephew John, he had a grass carp for his first fish at about 3 in the morning, and that was 50 pounds 10 ounces. So and he didn't give me a shout actually to go across and take a photo, but he did take some self photos, so we can put that one in later. And then, as I say, it was a quiet night, and then I reset my rods pretty early in the morning, knocking on for 8 o'clock-ish or whatever, because breakfast is normally about 9:30 there. And half an hour after that, I had my first fish from my left-hand rod, which was a mirror. just after 8:30 in the morning. I'd just reset my left-hand rod, which is over on the left of the bay on the tree line, and I've got a mirror that won't behave. Yeah, 30 pounds and 3. Lovely fat-bellied little mirror, and that was on my left-hand rod on a snowman on a blowback rig. Right, I thought I would just run you through my spots now. My left-hand rod, blowback rig on a snowman, is just under, let's get it, just under that tree there, just off it, about a rod length off the bank. Centre rod, which is on a Ronnie rig and a large 22mm wafter, is right at the back of that bay there. Difficult to see, it's sort of all the way at the back, centre of the bay really, about a rod length and a half off. And then right hand rod, great big bush at the back there, centre of that bush, again a rod length and a half off. Over where the sort of branches overhang, I've got my right hand rod, which is blowback rig and a snowman effect on the bait. Yeah, then I had sort of a quiet midday, and I remember I went for a shower at 3 o'clock. Nice shower, having been travelling for 2 days, and then I reset the rods at about 3:45ish, and half an hour after that it was just chaos. I had a double take. I had a fish on my right hand rod, sorry, a fish on the centre rod to the back of the bay, which I picked up and started to play, and it was a good fish. I knew it was straight away because it started to take me all over the place. And then my right hand rod, which is on the tree line, that went. So it was just chaos. Then I shouted for John, and I don't know what John was doing. I think he was asleep or something. And he bolted over then and picked up my right hand rod. I was playing the centre rod, and Mike, the owner, was out doing something, and he came over because, oh yeah, at that time I'd got the fish I had, I'd got it in the net. So Mike was holding that fish in the net while I took the rod off John and played the other fish. And that turned out to be a grass carp at 44 pounds, 3 ounces. And the fish that was in the net from the back of the bay was my first 40 in France, and my first 40 from that particular lake at that venue. And that was 44.01. So I had a double take of 40s, which was just bonkers. And in the end, there were 4 of us there because the grass carp decided to start going under all the rods, and we were lifting rods up and putting rods down, and Amanda came over and she was lifting rods up as well. So there were 4 of us there controlling these 2 fish. And as I say, a pair of 40s, a grass carp and a mirror, it was crazy. We've had mega chaos. Just had a double take after I was putting my 3rd rod out and my boat was still out there. I just put the rod in the rest, and the bay rod went off, the centre rod, and as I was dealing with that, the right hand rod went off, and I had to shout John to give us a hand. And the centre rod was a grassy 44, wasn't it? Yeah, 44. And we've got a lovely mirror here, which is, what was it again?
44.1.
44.01, yeah.
I think your scales are stuck at 44.
So this is PB grassy and PB everything. There we go. Right, because it's a double PB, it's PB for PB for both fish, for grassy. Yeah, of course, the mirror, which was 44.01, was a new PB, And the grass carp was a PB for me because I've had several grass carps in France, as you've seen in the past, and that being 44 pounds and 3 ounces was also a PB. So I then got a double wetting from Mike, 2 buckets straight, and I had to go for another shower then, which was a great way to sort of finish off the afternoon. Yeah, so that finished off Sunday with the carnage from the double take, and I had a quiet sort of evening then, and then at 3:45, 10 to 4ish, I was woken up by my right hand rod, jumped out of the bivvy. It was very cold at night, as I was telling you, so before we were getting out, I was putting my coat on, zipping that up, and then getting out to my rods. So that took a few seconds longer, but I got out to my rods, got the fish under control, and it felt like a good fish. And I played it for 10 minutes or so, got it in the net, and again, I knew that was a good fish. It looked a big fish, so I quickly secured it in the net, and I went and woke John up to give me a hand, and that fish in the end was another 40. It was 43 pounds and 6 ounces, another mirror. So again, another 40, so that was then sort of 3 40s within 24 hours. It was bonkers. And it was a quiet sort of night after that, but I couldn't get back to sleep, having, you know, had another 40 overnight, as it were. Right, here we go. Just after 4 o'clock in the morning, and middle rod, back of the bay, this lovely mirror, which is 43 pounds and 0.6. It feels bigger, but there we go, 43.06, and it took me ages to get it in. It took line, spool after spool, it just kept going. Probably took about 20 minutes, I think. Yeah, so we're still in day 3, Monday as it were, and I had a quiet day, all day, lunch, a few bits and pieces, evening meal, and then my right hand rod went at about 7 o'clock in the evening, and having had sort of 3 40s in the last 24 hours, I had a pasty. It was only, I didn't bother weighing it, it was the smallest fish in the lake, I think, but they all count, and it was just a nice little mirror, probably one that had grown up in the lake, so nice to see fish coming through as well. 10 past 7, just sitting down after tea, and I think I got the smallest fish in the lake. It's an absolute pasty. Little mirror, screamed off, I thought, here we go, and it's just a little one. So I'm going to get this straight back in, I'm not even going to weigh it. They all count though. But that sort of settled me down for a good night's skip, as it were. Into Tuesday, and I had a busy day on Tuesday because I had 4 fish altogether. First fish I caught was a common, which is 21.12, and it wiped out my centre rod as well, so I had to give John a quick call to help me untangle things, which we've done. Rod went off at about 5 to 2, and it's yeah, nice to have a common for a change. So there we go. And then in the morning after, I caught another common. Right, here we go. 10 to 8 in the morning, left hand rod. I'm going to get him up for you. 27.8. 27.8. Left hand rod. 10 to 8 in the morning. Cold and frosty wake up call. Lovely, lovely common. That's second common in a row now. So that's great. And into the afternoon, I had 2 mirrors, and both of them were 30s. Literally 10 minutes after putting the centre rod out, I moved it to the right hand side of the bay to the double tree area, because I hadn't had anything from the back of the bay for over 24 hours. And 10 minutes after, away it went. I'd only just finished putting the 3rd rod out, and we've got lovely fat belly on it mirror, 36 pounds 10. I thought it might be a 40 when I saw it, but there we go. One last look. 36.10. Right, treatment and back. And I sort of finished off a busy and good day with watching Leeds in the evening, because they were playing on the Tuesday night game, and they won and the other clubs dropped points, so Leeds went back to the top of the table. So it was a good day all round. Yeah, and Wednesday was a quieter day. I only had one fish during the day, and that was just a mid-double. And it was a quiet evening, as I remember. So yeah, Wednesday was one of the quietest days. But at that stage, I'd reached another milestone, because my best total in France was 11 at Abbey Lakes, and I'd gone on to 12 now on this particular trip. So that was another milestone that I'd reached. Thursday turned out to be fairly quiet as well. I had, right on midnight, as we just changed into Thursday, I had a grass carp that was a double, 14 pounds. But it was on my left-hand rod, and it started taking me up the bay towards swim 3, 4 and 5. And Mike's boat, the owner's boat, is moored just on the left-hand side there, and the grass carp in the end got behind the boat, so it was snagged behind the boat. I had to give John a shake, and he managed to go across to the boat with his landing net, and he freed it straight away, and I got it in the net pretty quickly. There we go. Just after midnight, left-hand rod went, and it was this little grass carp, which is 14 pounds and 4 ounces. And then I think it was about 3:45, I had a mirror that was a 20. 2:45, and right hand rod under the trees. This lovely little mirror. Quite a good fight, actually. 20 pounds and 14 ounces. So yeah, quite an exciting night, but not too bad by all accounts. Right, yeah, into Friday, which started off pretty strange actually. After midnight, during the night, a couple of times, I jumped out of the bivvy with my coat on, ready to go, and it came to nothing. I didn't pick the rods up, but the bite alarms just went off. So a couple of strange sort of aborted runs that came to nothing. And then in the morning, yeah, sort of normal routine, breakfast and everything else, and started a slow pack down then, because we had a very early ferry back on the Saturday morning from Cairn at 8:45, and we had to be there at an hour before. So it meant we'd have to leave the venue sort of 5:30 onwards. So we decided to pack the bivvies down and sleep in the dining room on our bed chairs, just push the table to one side and stay in there. So yeah, I'd started packing things down. I'd got most of my kit away, and I was just sat on my chair, and it got past midday, really hot day again, and I had all my 3 rods out on the original spots, and I went for a walk over to John to see what he was doing. I was having a chat with John, and my centre rod went off. So I sprinted back to the swim, grabbed my rod, got the fish under control. Well, I thought it was under control, and then it just took off. Started going down the left-hand side of the lake towards the other pegs, as it were, and towards where the boat was moored. And at one stage, it started to go under the boat, but I managed to stick my rod in the water, rod tip in the water, side strain, and got the fish moving that way. And then it went under the remaining rods a couple of times. I had to pick rods up, put them back in. John had come over with me, and he was helping me, and I knew it was a good fish. And in the end, of course, it turned out to be a common, and it was yet again another 40, and it was yet again another PB. It was 45 pounds common. Yeah. Wet.
What was it, 45.10? 45.10 common.
Okay. 45.10 common. Back of the bay. It went everywhere. I had a right job getting it under control. And I got it in the end. And dear me, that's another PB. 45.10. Yeah. yeah, so I got another wetting. In fact, we all got a wetting, all three of us, because we'd all broken PBs. So Mike decided that we could all line up and get a couple of buckets over us.
You do that, Dagmore.
I like that.
So yeah, that was Friday, and packed everything up, moved into the dining hall and got my head down, I don't know, about 11 o'clock in the evening. Having packed my rods up at 9 o'clock, I thought I won't bother anymore now. I'd had 15 fish at that stage, and the 440s, as it were. I wasn't too worried about leaving my rods in to grab another fish, as it were. So I called it a day there at 15 fish. John decided to leave his rods in for a while, and he left his in till I think about 3 in the morning. And then we sort of packed up and got ready to go home. Yeah, just a word to say a little bit about the lake now, the venue and the owners, Mike and Amanda. They were tremendous all week, and we both had the food package. In fact, all three of us had the food package, and we ate our evening meals together, as it were. And the food package was tremendous. Pretty simple bacon, sausage and egg baguette every morning, and that was great. And a series of 2-course meals in the evening. And one that stands out to me was the Sunday evening meal was roast pork, stuffing, vegetables, all the trimmings. It was really good. So the food package was excellent the whole week, and well worth the €160 that we paid for it. Just a word about the lake, actually. It's Lac La Chausse. It's got its own website, www.laclachausse.com, I think it is. I don't think it's .co.uk, just .com, I think. We'll put the link in the description. Yeah, a couple of other facts about the lake. It's a 12-acre lake. It's got 280 carp in there. There's about 30 grass carp in there, so that's over 300 fish for the 12 acres. There are 5 pegs. Peg 1, 2 and 5 are doubles, so you could get probably 8 anglers on there if you had the lake exclusive and wanted to fish it with 8 people. But yeah, it was great the way we fished it. We were on pegs 1 and 2, and the other lad Lee was on peg 5, and with him having his rods in on peg 5, that kept the fish moving down through the bay where we were and everything else. So that worked well, the way that we had our swims in that particular case. Yeah, whilst I was out there, to keep me sort of going in my bivvy, I took a Bluetti power station, and we've recorded some footage of that. I did a review on it, but it was really good. It lasted me all week, and I charged up numerous bits and pieces. I've mentioned that in the footage, including my bait boat a couple of times. So well worth paying out for that type of power station. A really good power station. Okay then, the Bluetti PS72 features. It's small but enough, at just over 21.4 pounds. A PS72 is a lightweight and powerful solution for both home, backup and outdoor adventures. A few talking points then. Comes with a power adapter box, plug into DC socket, and the same input is used at the front there for DC charging or solar charging. It also has to the rear a useful light with a couple of brightness settings, or you can have a disco and flash away wherever you want to. So that's another useful facility. And of course, a whole host of different charging points on the front there, and as we said, wireless charging point on top for your mobile phone. So an exceptional package for what it is. I've had it here from Saturday afternoon until now. We're looking at Thursday lunchtime, and it is still on 80% of its output. I've charged 2 iPhones, which I've been using constantly, one for normal use, one as a camera, and I've been putting them on charge 3-4 times a day at least. I've also charged my boat battery, which was down to 50%, my boat remote, I've charged my bivvy light, I've charged my head torch, and as I say, it's still got 80% of its output remaining. So yeah, very, very good, very useful. And again, we'll put the links in the description for you. I just mentioned now, bait-wise, because it was early spring, Mike had said to us, don't go too heavy on the bait. So what we did in the end was we had a bait package between myself and John. We had 10 kilos of boilie, 25 kilos of lake pellet, and that was all we used, a mixture of boilie and lake pellet. And I would say I used 5 kilos of boilie and just short of 10 kilos of lake pellet all week, and that's all I needed to use. So being sort of sparing with the bait did seem to work. Right guys, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today and the slight difference in how we've done it this particular time. And all I can say really is a great session. Thanks for watching.